Hello and welcome in my studio tonight. Luna and the Druid in flesh together.
Together. Oh, it
Yes.
was a while, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't see the comments here. I didn't think this through.
Oh,
Okay, we'll use
I have them here.
your
Oh, we have
computer.
Claire.
Hello, Claire. Hello, Suzanne.
Oh, Susan.
So lovely to have you here tonight.
Yeah. So, what are you going to do?
Yes, well, we're continuing on our series of creating and designing and living the life of our dreams. We shared a little bit of our stories with you. We helped you to find your limiting beliefs, blocking that vision of coming true. We tackled those limiting beliefs. And what's next? What now?
Yeah, well, today, next, we're driving into a crucial next step taking action. It's all about action. While dreaming, visualizing, thinking of limiting beliefs are essential, it's the actions we take that bring our dreams to life, whether it's bold, massive leaps or small, consistent baby
Mm,
steps. Every action moves us closer to the life we desire. Join us as we explore how taking inspired action can transform your vision into reality.
yes. Feel free to drop in the comment, even if you're rewatching it, and especially if you're watching this live. What would be the life of your dreams? What is that vision you discovered within yourself, and what's that goal you're aiming for? And David says, hi. Hello, David. So lovely to see you.
Yeah. So after our manifesting your dream life, our inner barriers, and our going beyond limiting beliefs, we go about action. And action is like, I always used the idea of the car and the sat nav on your phone in Google
Mm,
Maps. You know, when you hop into your car and you're going on a long journey, you might know your destination, but might not always know the road. And that's why we set our sat nav. So we set our sat nav, then we come in action. We
mm,
turn on the engine, put it into gear, and start driving. And we don't know where we're going or exactly the road of the long journey we're undertaking, but we know where we want to go. And our
mhm.
sat nav says, okay, in 100 meters, go left.
Yeah.
Then in 5 kilometers, go right. And step by step, we go there. And sometimes you come from the small roads onto onto a highway, onto an M road. And all of a sudden, you're making
Mm,
bigger leaps. And then closer to the end result, sometimes you have to tweak the road a little. And
yeah.
that's how the things work. So baby steps, big steps, but moving. If you don't move, if you don't physically put yourself into action, nothing, nothing will happen.
Exactly, and that's also that analogy, that story about the journey fits so well into what we do, being tarot readers, because we serve our clients as guides and we help to maneuver and go around all those bends and unknown. And so, if you feel like you need some extra guidance or a different perspective, then I encourage you to just book a reading because that's what is our purpose
Yeah,
to
yeah.
help you discover and serve as a guide, as a roadmap, because we have that higher knowledge coming from the knowledge of the cards and intuition, higher
Yeah,
self,
yeah.
mixed with energy of the client, which can be transformative.
And even stepping into the higher knowledge to get a roadmap for yourself
Mm,
is like tapping into directions. And so even that's part of the action plan, I always say.
mm. Claire says, I have a destination no matter the the diversions or holdups.
Yeah,
And that's it.
exactly. And it's especially a long journey isn't always a big main
Mhm.
a big main highway. It's highways and byways, and as long as you're moving in the general direction of your goal, so the steps you are taking contribute in one way or the other to your
Mm,
goal, you'll get closer to them, and you also get closer to the big
mhm.
steps. So that's the thing there.
And to me, It's all about the journey. That's why the series of products I designed is a journey, indeed, journey through dark night of the soul, or the
Yeah.
journey within into the shadows and the depths of the nasty and ugly.
Yeah.
Hello, Anna. And Anna says, hello, lovely people. Yes, we're all here.
Everybody's
As
here. That's good.
yes, as every Wednesday. So good to
Yeah.
see you guys joining. Okay, so Jan, there is a saying you're saying which I really love. Would you like to share it
Yeah. My
about?
favorite quote,
Yes.
my self-generated quote, is action is the dance of manifestation. What
Um,
about that?
it's really close to my heart because I happen to be a dancer, so that whole dance analogy works for me pretty well because I can understand deeply that.
Yeah.
And absolutely, often I see people who, especially at the beginning of either spiritual self development or self development in general, um, thinking that if they will manifest, or if they will, sorry, affirm or think about, visualize, and sit and do nothing about it and just enjoy it, that things will happen. And it's not exactly how it works, because what
Yeah.
works is that divinely guided action we take towards those dreams to make them happen.
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest misconception about manifesting stuff. And yes, obviously, if you're aligned with the vibration and with the energy of the thing you want, if you're vibrationally within you there, obviously big things can take overnight.
Hmm.
However, usually if we feel stuck, it's because we're not aligned with that vibration of the thing we want.
Yeah.
And in order to change them and in order to make that things happen, we need to do what?
We need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like John C. Maxwell said, dreams don't work unless you do.
Mm,
It's all about
exactly.
doing. So, what's Luna, can you explain the importance of combining action with intentions?
Okay. So I'll use the dancing analogy, okay?
Good.
So
Yeah.
just as the dance floor holds the space for the movement, right? The universe holds space for your dreams. This is the scene, and everything is there in place. But dancing requires trust, letting go of hesitation, and moving with the beat of your intuition, because action is that rhythm, is that drum, which which is giving that rhythm. And manifestation is the delicate balance of trust and knowing within that what's best for you will come
Hmm.
eventually,
Hmm.
but it also the trust of following the guidance and the steps we are being shown, or we know just with that we need to take. And that's the key here. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Kind of. You know, the we said it's actually so it's about the whole. You do the whole process. You set your intentions. You write them. You write them down. You make a plan. Um, you dream about the idea
Mhm.
of something that you manifest. But then there comes a day that you have to do something. If you want to manifest a better job, you have to write a letter, or you have to apply for something. If you want to change a business, you have to do it. You have to do something. You start with
Absolutely.
the idea, then your business cards, then your website, then you make some partnerships, and then you really sign up, and then you're going to attract clients.
Yeah.
And um, the thing often is that when you start a small business and you're attracting clients and attracting the right clients,
Mhm.
especially if it's in some specific um, uh, trades, you can bump into a big partner who can help your business, for instance, is- forward. So
Absolutely.
it's not only attracting clients, but uh, it's also
Keep going.
yeah, attracting clients, but it's also attracting partnerships. So working together, and all these things come into manifestation because you are there. You've shown up.
Yeah.
If you show up, things will magically happen.
That's what I was showing, like you and me, or actually me and you. When we met, things moved into a very positive direction for both of us. But
Yeah,
especially me, knowing you and knowing the right people, has helped me manifest many of my dreams. And the biggest one of the biggest one, when it comes to my what I do, my work is to read cards of mind, body, and spirit in Dublin, the biggest holistic fair, the big event. And I'll be there reading cards, and wouldn't well, it would probably happen many years
but in 2 weeks,
from now.
3 weeks time, yeah,
But yeah, so that's a big dream come true, because I remember the first time I went there many years ago. It was my beginning of reading cards. And I planted that seed thinking, oh, one day I will read cards here. And that was a big dream back then. And hey, a couple of years later, a good while, but worth the wait. The big dream is coming true.
yeah, it happened, and
Yeah.
and
And I'm
you started,
actually
and
so
actually
excited
you
about it.
actually lived the story that I just told. You
Yeah,
know, the it was starting your business, showing up, uh,
exactly.
knocking on the door and saying, okay, let's have a cup of coffee and let's start something. and
Mm,
and through the partnerships came the partnerships. And
absolutely.
I'm for myself, the working with the mind, body, and holistic fairs is big, because it
It
helps you.
means you're the best, because it's not easy to get there.
Oh, that's
It's
true too. But you got there too,
yeah.
so what does that mean?
That
You
means
went
that
through, you
I'm
came through the
in
vetting
the
process.
right
Yes, you
place.
came through the vetting process.
Absolutely. It was just my journey was
Yeah,
faster than it
yeah,
usually takes.
yeah,
But hey,
yeah,
that's my superpower of
yeah,
being aligned with the energy.
yeah. So yeah, in I think the next section we're gonna talk a bit about, even if you're prepared to take action,
Yeah.
why do we sometimes not take action? Why do we
Ooh,
procrastinate? Why we are delaying things? Um,
you're asking a specialist in that.
oh, inform me.
Yes, well, I'll blame this on ADHD, and thank God for that excuse. However, procrastination is the one of the biggest thing people practice because of fears, because of feeling of not being worthy, not being good enough, fear of success, fear of being seen, unhealed which wound, unhealed many other aspects, lack of self-belief, all that excuses that we possibly we can convince ourselves that it's not worth showing up, stepping up with the diamond, the magic which is within you, and sharing it with people, because we were been giving this gift to
Yeah,
share it with others, because that's what the new earth and the new vibration of love, which is not new, it's kind of new for in our times, but in general
yeah,
it's a very ancient concept of God's source of love and being the light. But anyway, don't want to get into that part, because that would require a separate episode
yeah,
perhaps one day. But
yeah.
anyway, where I was going with this.
Yeah, you were going. Why do we procrastinate? So it comes from
Mhm.
within, from in yourself, but it's also often like fear of failure, or fear of showing up, fear of being
Mhm.
seen in what you do.
Mhm.
Um, Very big one is perfectionism.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I have rebuilt the quote "ready, fire," "ready, aim, fire" into "ready, fire, aim." So be ready, fire then, and then adjust, and don't go for the perfect end picture.
Yeah,
Because if you go for whatever you do, if you want to make it perfect, you'll never get there. Because
absolutely.
nothing, especially when you're your own critic, never is perfect. Never is anything perfect enough. Although we strive for it.
I will stop you for a second here because we have some cool comments coming. I
Claire,
think there was
yes.
David saying, I have no comments on my computer. So
Yeah.
no, let's go ahead. By the way, Magdalena and Richard, hello, lovely.
Yeah.
So good. Great to have you here. I think it was David,
Yeah, this is
David
David
saying,
here. Yeah.
I was just thinking I had to trust guidance with baby steps.
Absolutely.
I think we'll come back to baby
Yeah,
steps
we
a
will.
little bit because that's something I would like to actually discuss. So
Okay.
we'll
Claire, that
yes.
made us proud. Let's look at her.
Yeah, exactly. I
She's
noticed
reading at
that.
her first fair this Friday.
Well done.
The first step to see it. If I could get a table, and the organizer is just as excited as I am. She had never had a tarot reader there before. So well done.
Fantastic. Well
Well
done.
done, and
Oh,
lots
Claire.
lots of
That's a lot of action
success.
taking
Yeah.
since the last month since we are talking about this.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're making it happen.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Claire. Well done.
I think you will enjoy it a lot because that's very rewarding.
And let's not forget, Claire is a specialist too.
Absolutely.
She's a very
The two of them share the same love for Tough Tarot.
yeah. And we see each other in the meetings of the Tarot Association.
Yes,
So
and Claire
yeah.
was actually
Giving a lecture. Yeah,
on
yeah.
tarot. So well done.
So well done, Claire.
Well
You're on a
You're
roll.
on
We're proud of you.
Yes, and you're in the right spot.
Great to
for
know you.
sure. Congratulations.
So what do we do? So what do we do when we face blockades? You break your tasks,
Mm,
like you said, manageable steps. So. There's sometimes it's people, for instance, people that write a book, it's a memo task,
mhm.
but still you have to write it page by page, word by word, or line by line, paragraph by paragraph. It's baby
Have a
steps.
look at the comments. How many people congratulate Claire?
Oh,
Claire, have
Claire,
a look at
you,
the comments.
Claire.
It's wonderful. Everybody says,
Great.
"Hi, congratulations." Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So it's focus on progress.
Yeah.
Not perfection. So do it. Start when you're halfway. When I one of my things I always say to people who are looking for a higher job, I say if you need, for instance, need to take a course to get this other job,
Mhm.
start the course,
Yeah.
and the moment you're enrolled in the course, start
Yeah.
start applying for jobs that are in the role, and you'll most of the time,
Strategize.
yeah, and you will likely see that once you have shown your interest in that work
Mm.
by doing the course, and maybe you're even on the road a bit, they say, okay, we'll give you the job already, because businesses want to secure you too. So it's all about taking action prior, and then go for it.
But
So
it is easy to say to non-spicy people. Neuro-spicy people have it more difficult.
absolutely, yeah.
My advice, and I speak this from my experience, is to find a way to fall in love with the process and fixate on that a little bit. Yesterday, I was designing all my posters, all my marketing. So that was a very productive day. I created a lot. I was actually surprised how much I could spill out of me and do cool things while I was really enjoying that process. I could be stressed about it because the time is ticking. I could not enjoy it because it's not the area I feel I'm at my best. So I could think, oh, I hate doing this, but no, and that works.
Yeah, action works.
Obviously, time limits and having that limit and deadline is always a great
Yeah.
motivation.
Absolutely,
To have.
absolutely, yeah.
But that's for the neurospicy people.
Yeah. So how do we make these changes? Like I said, you have your dream of starting your business. You feel stuck in your career. Start researching. Start working on it. Have a vision of where you want to go, and therefrom step by step, pile up the steps.
Yeah,
Up the ladder. It's your stairway to heaven,
absolutely.
and momentum will build. And you will see once you take steps, when you go out into the world, when you communicate with others what you're doing, opportunities will flow.
Yeah, that's for job. But for example, if your goal is to improve your health, and but you may not know where to start because it's maybe overwhelming because there is so much information right now that it's hard to find out what's really true and what's really working. So again, let's go back to those baby steps David mentioned today here as well. That start small. Go for a walk. First walk 10 days. Next day add 5 minutes to it. Next day add some extra movement to it. And do little things, but
Yeah.
with confidence. Something which won't be a full 1 hour workout because you may not start at all.
Mhm.
Tiny little baby steps,
Yeah.
which will lead to big changes.
Yeah.
Like start, I don't know, lift weights, but instead of taking 5 kilos at first, do it with 500 grams
Yeah.
and build up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's about confidence, about showing up again, huh?
Mhm,
Day after day after day.
exactly.
If you want to improve your health and your condition day after day, and it will lead to bigger changes.
We have a comment here from
From
Anna.
Anna, I will bring Anna's comment into the screen.
I ran my first breathwork session recently. Well, it wasn't your first session. It was a hard job to get out there and advertise it. But I showed up for myself, just launched my second workshop, and just sold my first ticket. Yay, today is a
Yeah,
day
Anna,
of
this is the
celebrations.
day. Yeah,
Wonderful. Well done. I'm so happy for you.
yeah. Well
Thanks
done.
for sharing.
That's
David
very
said,
good.
thank you, so in tune. And Anna also adds that she's so thrilled, and so are we.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's our last example of taking
Well,
action?
relationships, for
Oh yeah.
example. I had a client recently, and it was so funny because I asked her a few questions about how she really wants that relationship. And long story short, she wanted a relationship, but she didn't want to change her life, anything, because she was comfortable with where she is. And my advice was, listen, do something different. If you want that change, because she said that all her friends, her family, so that the circle is not where she's at. So the advice was to join a different community, do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different, go and try a different cafe for once, and going for a walk by herself and just
Yeah.
being open to bump into people
Yeah.
and have some conversation,
Yeah.
especially men.
Yeah, and what's also important in that case, some people wouldn't immediately, for instance, open up for friendship or relationship on a first occasion,
Yeah,
and that's why community groups can be so important when you join a
absolutely.
social setting like a Toastmasters or yoga, Tai Chi class, or at the gym. Where on regular times you meet the same regular people,
Mm,
you can build this trust. You can overcome the first
absolutely.
limitations
Yeah.
and or the first impressions that might not be 100%, but when you talk to someone and you got to know them better, the first impressions
Hmm.
way less, so you get more space to open up yourself, and more space to open up yourself for others too, because the limitations are gone, and that's so important. And from there on, you can build friendships, you can even build relationships. It's that's where it starts, in the social setting. Okay, when you're young, you have the clubs and the dance scene and whatever, but
Mm.
people at certain ages
Don't do those
need
things.
different methods.
Not
Yeah.
to mention that we are, as human beings, we are social creatures
Mhm.
and we crave connection. We need that in order to function properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it comes easy. For instance, when like myself, when you're a Druid, when I moved to Ireland, I just had to go into my Druid network and say who's nearby, and you
Mm.
get friends immediately. But I also joined in when I moved to my new town. Joined a local Toastmasters group where we do public speaking and discussing topics in the evening. That's where you get to know people. That's where you make friends, and that's how things move into action, and you go from one step
Exactly.
to another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk practical
Yeah.
right now. What is important to take? Because we talk about those baby steps, but some people won't know where to start. So first thing, mind over matter, which is visualize
Yeah.
your step, that goal. What is that you want? And then ask for the guidance on how to get there.
Yeah.
And actually, I would even say ask for help to get there rather than the how, because it will come.
Yeah.
You will figure it out on the way.
Yeah. What's very important in visualization is that you put yourself in the middle of the visualization.
Yes.
What I
You
recently said
embody
with
it.
a client, I worked for an Infinite Possibilities program with them for a new job. I said, imagine yourself in on next year's Christmas drink with your company. It's the Friday before Christmas. Everybody goes home, and imagine yourself. You're standing there, and the CEO appoints you like a manager or employee of the year,
Mhm.
and everybody raises their glass and they're applauding for you. That's a visualization where
Yeah.
you yourself has made it, and that's an end point. That's a
Mhm.
goal, or that can be a goal.
Yeah.
And from there on, you can take this. You can take the steps. So you visualize, then you're moving on. And how do you do that?
Well, with them, I'll stop for here for a second, because the key is to feel it. The key is to experience the emotions, to have that vibration being sent out to the world from your heart center. This is where we feel things, that joy, that gratitude, that being proud of yourself, that whatever feeling or limiting belief you need to overcome to get there, feel the success from being there. And this what's gonna get you closer and faster than anything
Anything
else.
else? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you're on the road, you can use the Get Smart method, and that's setting smart goals. And the first one is specific. Yes,
Mm,
the M is measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
yeah.
So uh, make make a
It's
make
important to be
make a goal.
realistic
Yeah, make a goal.
about it.
Say it's going to take me 2 months to get there. It has to be measurable. It has to be specific. It has to be relevant to the job, of
Yeah.
course. Achievable.
Mhm.
Don't put unrealistic goal, like you said, and then within the time, try to get there.
Absolutely. And Anna is the best example. Claire is the best example of how that actually works
Yeah,
in life. I'm the best. I'm a living proof
yeah,
of that. And
yeah.
so are you. And before you go any further, Claire has a wonderful comment here. It's amazing how spirit, the universe, connects us all. And that's so true.
Yeah.
How things happen in our life spontaneously at the same time, because we're talking about it, we're connecting our energy on
And
that
we're here.
level.
We showed up. You
Yes,
showed up,
absolutely.
and
Richard and Magdalena are very quiet today. That's unusual for
hmm,
them.
in the private chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What else is important?
yeah. Well, so when you're on
What
the
we're
road,
doing here.
that's
Celebrating.
important. This is
Yeah,
important. But when you're on the road, you celebrate the small victories.
exactly. That's what I'm
Small.
saying.
You could even set within your time frame, set a few milestones, and when you get
Yeah,
them, treat yourself to whatever you
absolutely.
think you're worth. And
Absolutely. Join a
yeah,
great community where, when you said about your success, about your holistic fair, or about your
yeah,
soul
yeah.
ticket, everybody's
And,
cheering
and
you
share
and
it. Yeah,
sharing
share
that,
it. Sharing is part of the fun.
celebrating with you.
Celebrating that we're
Um,
doing things. You do your
Look at this. David says, I just picked up the card Courage.
courage.
Wow,
Wow, David.
beautiful.
Well done.
And that's what this is. That's another important aspect. And thank you for sharing that. Because I
The
think
seven of wands, probably.
courage is
Yeah.
so important. Because what is courage? Courage is feeling the feeling of, like, experiencing the feeling of fear, but doing something regardless. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you still can be courageous and experience fear at the same time. But what makes you courageous is that
Yeah, overcoming
overcoming
it.
that
Yeah,
and doing that
absolutely.
thing about it. Magda says, I'm here listening in the background. Busy evening.
Good.
Yes. So just to summarize what we were talking about here, action is that catalyst for transformation.
And the sense of
Action,
manifestation.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to ask yourself, what is that one thing you could do tonight, just as we finish this session, or even now, if you can do a few things at times, but I encourage you to do it after the session, so you could take the most advantage of it while you're
Yeah.
listening and being present here with us. But think about what is that one step you can take,
Yeah.
which would take you closer to your goal, closer to your dream.
And if you're there, share it in the comments.
Absolutely. And this is what I've learned from Tony Robbins, because he never waits until tomorrow. If he makes a decision, if he has a goal, he goes there, he makes that action immediately, because this is that moment which perpetuates the energy. This is that starter which actually builds up the energy, and this is very important. And I've tried it myself, and that works, absolutely works.
Yeah.
Way better than thinking about, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, because how many times the tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
So
more often than ever. Yeah.
absolutely. So think about what is that you can do here and now today. It can be simple things like finding out with which company you want to print out your business cards, or perhaps going to Canva and having a look around of what
design.
types of templates are there. Do something.
Yeah. Baby steps.
Claire says, a few weeks ago you spoke about raising vibration. Coming here is exactly that and more. Oh,
Thank you, Claire. Especially that and more. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and David says, this room is so healing. Oh, thank you guys for your kind
David.
words. This is our intention.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. So he talked about Tony and his and he's very empowering in his lectures.
Yes.
I myself have been trained by Mike Dooley, also an American, who keyword who keys the quote, thoughts become things. That the thoughts you think in your brain are manifesting themselves into reality.
Absolutely.
And he is also the one that in his training program, which I'm
Infinite Possibilities,
and I'm an authorized trainer there, and he coined the term taking baby steps, and the baby steps focusing on small consistent actions while trusting the universe to handle the details.
So here we have two different concepts. One concept of taking massive action. Sorry, my hands are overworked.
Yeah. That's Tony's word. Yeah.
Taking massive action. What is massive action? Is that breaking that habit, doing something differently, versus the baby steps. So let's talk about that, because I think it's actually a really interesting concept, because on the surface they look totally different.
Contradict each other. Yeah, I thought so too. First,
is it really like this?
No, of course not. No. The
Do you remember what I said about
not kicking the camera stand?
Magdalena says the this community is great, and I absolutely confirm it.
Yeah. So the idea of the idea that the baby steps and the giant leaps, the baby steps of Mike Dooley and the giant leaps of Tony Robbins are contradictory is just partially true. Yeah. What you actually can say is taking action, and not all the time a massive progress is just in sight, or you still have the idea of things that need to be sorted. Absolutely. And then you start with the baby step, because the baby steps are powerful in itself, especially because with baby steps, for instance, If you have taken 100 baby steps and you miss 3 or 4, you still have 96 that work.
Yeah.
And with a massive leaps, have the risk of failing, and then you fail massively. But what I always say is, when you take the baby steps, you will eventually get to a big gap. You eventually
Exactly.
get to a moment where you have to take brutal action, where it's like a tipping, you reach a tipping point.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah.
and what do you do then?
Well, just to jump on that, those concepts actually work beautifully when they complement each other,
Absolutely.
because you need to remember that that massive step and massive action we mentioned here doesn't have to be the massive step on the outside. It can be that internal overcoming limiting belief and creating a new habit, because often the biggest job we have to do is not on the outside, but it's within us. So the way I see those concepts working and co-creating together the life of your dreams is to do the work inside, which usually is a big thing. Like, whoever has gotten through any transformation will know, who's ever experienced any change will know what I'm talking about
Mhm.
here. And sometimes that it always starts actually within, but then not always the big step and the big leap of faith is the right thing. Sometimes actually is the baby step, which even if you go in the wrong direction, you will figure out it way quicker. And then you will have less to turn back and
Mm.
detour. And,
Claire gives a nice insight on this one. The baby step is the giant leap, because to take that first step is the biggest.
yeah,
It's like the wisdom. Every big journey starts with one step.
absolutely. And actually, it's way easier to go from 1 to 100 than from 0 to 1. Absolutely, I agree with that. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that.
yeah. So
And
that's
Magdalena says here, I have many baby steps to take, like a crawling baby all over the place at the moment. And absolutely, sometimes we are there. That's why baby steps are so safe,
mhm.
because instead of jumping in a big water, which is not always something we need particularly at
Yeah,
our life, the more the better
yeah.
in terms of those steps, because the more baby steps we take, the quicker it's going to get us to our goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
um yeah, so
So I think next week we'll continue with emotions and feelings,
oh
and
yeah.
connect. We continue the series there.
Hmm.
But what we're going to do today, we still have
We
some
wouldn't be
beautiful time.
ourselves if we wouldn't pull some cards.
Ah, some cards. I didn't account for that.
Absolutely. um
I did.
yes,
Yeah.
so
What do we have today?
think about um getting to your dreams like a climbing a mountains, right? And those baby steps are moving you slowly towards the peak. And yes, the massive leap can take you across the gap, no problem. Um, but the secret of it is when and how to and know when to use. Sorry, how to know when to use them. And this is where tarot gets in very handy, because tarot, as you know, can answer many questions. Actually, all the
All
questions.
questions. Yeah, it's a
Yes,
book of life.
yes. So I designed a spread for today,
Okay.
for tonight.
Surprised.
Yes, Jan actually doesn't know any. I think I'm actually gonna grab a
You
tarot
grab
deck
some
as
cards as well.
well.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, my old decks were working hard recently, so maybe I'll grab this one. I haven't been using this on air, I think, ever.
Oh, that's so lovely. Which
Mm,
which one is that?
This is the Witch Tarot
Oh, the Witch
deck.
Tarot.
This is
Cool.
the deck which I haven't been using actually in a while. So while I'm shuffling the cards, sorry for the noises. In the meantime, I will read a comment from Anna. Baby steps are important and so enjoyable as well. That is an important part of the journey.
Yeah, and never forget that the journey can be as important as the destination.
Yeah, and David says, "That's me. I'm swimming."
I'm swimming. Well done. It
Sometimes,
can be cold still,
yeah.
David, but you're
Oh, I was swimming actually
you,
the other day.
you
Absolutely,
too,
it's
yeah.
absolutely, it's
Okay.
beautiful. Anyway, let's talk about the dream,
Cards.
right?
Yeah, dream and cards.
So
What shall we do?
this card will reveal your heart's current vision or dream, the
So,
big picture. And the question is, what is my soul longing to create or experience? Let's look at
what
the,
is my soul longing
yeah.
to create or experience?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, I will. I have two
I
cards.
have one.
We can take it as a separate
Yeah, yeah,
message or we can take it as one.
yeah.
Pick your card. You start, Jan.
It's amazing because last week I had the same card showing up, and then I had to show the photo of myself with this card,
Yeah.
exactly this card, and the original painting of the magician.
Mm,
So it's back again. It's back again. You can't believe it. I still have it here. Look, here
yeah.
I am with the cards, and I pulled it again today. So the question is, what is my soul longing to create or experience? Everything.
Mhm.
Communication, juggling. It's the experience of itself. It's experiencing that you are capable. It's experiencing that whatever you want to do, you can do. Experiencing that the universe has got your back, and that the universe has given you all the tools and all the necessities uh, to make this
Yeah.
dream happen. So
So be practical. You have everything you need in order to make this happen. Just
yeah,
gather
yeah,
and use some
yeah,
courage and just
yeah.
take those tools and use
Yeah.
them.
So you're longing to become the magician. You're longing to make it really
Mhm.
happen for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are some comments coming here through.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Magician.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
The
destination is the
destination
key.
is the key, Jan, says
Absolutely.
Richard.
Absolutely. Which
And
cards
with
did you
me,
have?
this is a really interesting one. If you picked my side, first of all, what your soul wants to experience is to overcome all the delusions, overcome all the dreaming and thinking about it with the moon
The
card.
moon card, of
That's
course. Yeah.
being in the space of manifesting it from the vision and vision only without action taking. So your soul wants you to wake up and finally take some action, because with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, you're taking your sweet time, too much sweet time, and that either false vision of perfectionism or wanting to have another course before you start doing something, blah, that type of blah blah
Yeah.
things. Your soul wants you to stop messing around and stop messing with the camera. Stop procrastinating and just saying that, oh, I'll start tomorrow, and just take action
No,
towards the dreams. It's
that's
time
it.
to make your dreams reality. So step out of that illusion.
Next question.
Next card, we'll talk about the spark,
The
right?
spark.
This shows a small or bold step. It depends on what is that you need, actually. So you can take now to initiate momentum. In other words, what inspired action is calling you right now. I already had the card before I even said the question out loud. So Spirit is very in
Yeah.
tune
So
today.
you start this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You picked Luna.
Mhm.
What did you get?
I picked Ace of Swords, new beginnings, communicating, showing out, going out to the world and talking about what you do, talking about what you create, talking about your service you can offer. Start communicating, start advertising, start talking about it with your friends, ask your friends to start talking about it. Just communicate. Give yourself opportunities to speak up and show up.
Okay. The spark, when you chose me, comes from the Hierophant.
Mm.
Yes, and of course, what inspired action does a Hierophant take? Well, a Hierophant um, uh, brings, walks the road. You see a road in the middle of the cart where it's just, and you can walk on any side of the road. It's bring all your elements together, um, and this card definitely talks about telling the story. It's about communication, a bit like the magician, but on a different level. It's about educating the ones that are helping you. That's the that's the idea
Mm.
that this card gives.
I like to talk about Hierophant that he brings heaven onto earth. So
He
he
does,
brings
yeah.
that inspired action, inspired guidance into and turns into
Absolutely,
action
yeah.
because he knows how, because he's spiritually developed. So he knows how to take that voice of
Yeah,
intuition and turn into something
yeah. So it's actually
practical.
the spark that comes from what I could say, what we could call the higher self,
Mm,
the
absolutely.
spiritual realm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love this comment from David. I love this reading, Luna, that Ace of Swords cuts through the illusions. Well,
Boom.
wow, beautiful
Yeah.
interpretation. Thanks for bringing that and sharing that. Moving on, last week we talked about our blocks, about our limiting beliefs. So let's see where we stand at with that one. And this card will talk about what fear, belief, or habit is preventing me from moving, taking action. Look at inner resistance or procrastination triggers.
Yeah.
Choose a card.
Yeah.
This time I will start.
Yes. Okay.
I have 10 of Wands, the burden. So the stories we tell ourselves that in the past it didn't work, so it won't work now. That limiting access of times, resources we have, all the hurts, all the burden we carry on our shoulders, all the false and limiting beliefs we still hold on to. It's time to let them go.
Yeah. I have a similar card actually,
Mhm.
but this is the 10 of discs.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, so what's holding you back? The idea that you don't have it yet, or that you need to have something else first. The story that I told a few episodes ago of the young student who or the school dropout actually, who said, first I'm going to make a lot of money, and
Yeah,
then I'll do the big dream of my life. And the
exactly.
idea of needing a lot of money to create the big dream of your life is surreal.
I'm the best example. I'm a living proof that that's not necessary.
Yeah, and I've been on various sides of that part
Mm,
where money was sometimes easy and sometimes more difficult. Uh, you drive
but
a newer
still,
car or a faster car,
yeah,
but with the speed limits, you get there at the same time. You have a bigger
absolutely.
house. Well, you have more house to clean or more house to paint. So it all comes at a price. So don't let fear of not having the wealth or not having the inspiration, the power,
Yeah.
hold you back. That's something that those two
Um,
cards, the two tens that we pulled in one thing
not
special.
not to mention that real freedom is to be independent from circumstances, because the
Absolutely.
real deal is what happens within, despite what's going on the outside.
Yes.
Moving on,
Next one.
let's move to the inner shift. And this card or cards will talk about a message or on reprogramming or reframing your inner dialogue. In other words, what mindset of energy shift do I need to make to move forward? Oh, I actually have some cards. There is some chaos here on my side.
Mm,
So bear with me. And got it.
yeah. So
Oh,
you pick either
interesting.
Luna or me.
You start.
I have an interesting card. So the inner shift. What mindset and energy shift do I need to make uh, the moves? Six of Cups, card called the Lord of Pleasure. Um, so the inner shift comes from loving what you do. It's not about anything else than
Mm,
uh, than doing what you love, and loving what you do. The combination of that, you're on the right track, that the things you're doing in your life give you pleasure, give you satisfaction. And sometimes, especially in the Six of Cups, it's emotional pleasure, that's the shift that you need to do. So it's not about certain results, but it's about the big picture. You're getting there. You are doing it.
I have a different message if I may
Please
jump
do.
on
Yeah,
too,
please do.
because that's something else I picked on. Sometimes it's the pleasure that you find in where you are, or the pleasure itself of choosing the things which are distracting you because they're pleasurable is the thing which needs to be
Mhm.
shifted, because
Oh yeah,
that's what keeps you away from taking that next
yeah,
step.
yeah. In this case, we would say that yeah, it's the shift from procrastination.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I
From
feel
from
that's an
from
extra
from
message for
doing other
somebody
things,
there.
gaming, YouTubing, doom
Yeah,
scrolling, TikToking.
or
Yeah,
other
boom. Absolutely.
things.
Thank you for adding that.
And the reason I'm saying this because my card is Nine of Swords. So the inner shift is all about overcoming those fears, limiting beliefs, anxiety, stress, and over perhaps
Nightmares,
you
even. Yeah.
exactly, but perhaps your limiting belief is that you think that it's going to take you so much time that you have to stay late nights in order to get that. Oh my goodness, get over yourself.
Yeah, that's the
Sorry
thing.
for being bold
Especially with
enough.
the Nine of Swords, it's a really a get over yourself card. Oh yes.
And you're laughing, but that was the best advice I was given in terms of another aspect that was about social media and talking to a camera. And I will never forget that class because that was such an eye opener. And I love that advice, get over yourself, because
Mhm.
it's so true. And I even have here an image. Perhaps I'll share a picture on the post, on the community post later of it. Let me pour you, just as a reminder of that, because that changed a lot within me. That simple one sentence. Let me pour you a tall of glass of get over it, and here's a straw for so you could suck it up. Best advice
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
This is really live. Jan is reading my reading. Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing how
amazing,
in
Claire.
tune.
Oh, amazing, David. Sorry.
That's David. Yeah. Moving on to the flow. What kind of action feels most aligned to me? Baby steps or massive moves? This card will help us to understand your rhythm. Steady or bold? What do you have? Huh, I see the cards first. Oh my lord, you said it already, so you start.
Yeah. So I picked the devil. So what kind of action feels most aligned to me?
Yeah,
Baby
that's a
steps
big
are my favorite.
action.
Oh,
That's
these are big actions. Well, actually, also a combination. Of course, the devil, of course, talks about really getting out of the comfort zone, really firing first, and then see where the arrow takes you. Of course. Below we see details as well, so there are baby steps involved, but we're taking such bold action that we really overstep our baby steps.
somebody here has goosebumps. Actually, I can see
Oh,
what's coming.
let's see who it is. David,
Yeah,
goosebumps.
yeah, it's a really powerful
Powerful
reading
card,
today.
yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. Well, it's probably easy to because the question was quite wide.
Yeah.
My card is Six of Cups, so
Oh,
take baby
this
steps.
one.
Exactly, and we had Six of
Yeah,
Cups
the six
here
cup already.
as well.
And that's yeah, the ten of cups are the huge steps, and the six of cups are baby, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely, baby steps. Be smart about your journey. If you have learned something before, use that knowledge, use that wisdom to not to make the same or similar mistake,
Yeah.
but also try. And this talks about No, I'll stay here.
Yeah, well, it's a very sunny card.
Yeah,
The
absolutely. But
sunny.
this is
Yeah.
the confirmation that all is well. That sometimes you might get triggered, for example, because this is the way of the universe showing you where is the work you need to do. That's what I wanted to ask.
Claire.
Um,
Claire, using the thought arrow. The first question, art. That was what's
yeah, so the
the
temperance.
dream. Yeah, the art card. The dream is the
To have,
alchemy, the big
yeah,
changes.
to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
balance between what's
yeah,
needed in life and what's
yeah.
that what you want.
And then the second question was death.
Hmm.
Second one is the
Was
spark.
about the spark.
The
So
spark.
what is inspiring?
What's inspiring you? So the rebirth, the renewal part of the journey. The third card for that was
For
the
the
moon, the
block.
block, the moon. Yeah, the mystery.
Oh, I had the moon somewhere today.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
What would you say? The moon
Can't
as the
remember
block.
which card was
Yeah,
that, but I
yeah,
think it was the block,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
the same card. And whoa, 10 of Cups
yeah.
as the fourth one, the
Yeah.
inner shift.
The inner shift is the Ten of Cups instead of
Oh, so in tune.
instead of my 6. She takes the 10. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Completion, the full picture,
Yeah.
and of course, question 5,
The flow.
the flow.
What we just did.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5.
not kidding. The
The
chariot.
chariot.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the
She thought
flow
of a-
is taking control over the action taking. Simple as it is.
Yeah. But the action, the charity never stops. So the flow is continuous.
Know something about it. It's like a perpetuum mobile.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the support. This may be a person, an opportunity, a tool, or community around you, right? So what external support or resource is available to help you to take
So
action?
the gift,
Yes.
the present from the outside.
Yes, the support. Ooh, nice.
Mm.
I dropped the card on the floor, so bear with me. Ta-da!
Ta-da. External support. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You start.
Okay, so the external support is actually the internal support you have, which is the strength card, your inner power. Overcoming those limiting beliefs is enough. It's already something which you have from the universe. So the universe will send you the right people, the right TikToks, videos, YouTubes, live readings to inspire you enough so you could take the action. And there is some action going on.
Yeah, there's some
I
action
can see the
going
cheeky smile.
Yeah, of course. Because my card
Is-
is the Prince of Wands from the Thoth.
Mm,
And of course, there's, like in your card,
yeah,
there's a Leo there.
absolutely.
And of course, the
The
external
fire.
support from the Prince of Wands comes from what I could say, the moment you break through.
Yeah,
The moment, for instance, you get hired for the job, or the moment you're breaking through with a new partnership, or opening your physical shop, or opening your web shop. It's the big shift, but especially the big shift that comes from having the launching customer, having a launching partner, having outside influence, finding your investor, or finding a new career path in a new company. And that's the moment that someone else says yes to you.
not to mention that those two cards talk about courage, and that's what David mentioned, and that's what David pulled card about today already. Courage, because this is Leo, and Leo is very courageous. Leo is also very confident. When it's so easy to spot a Leo, I'm talking here about the zodiac sign, born in the summertime. Where they're courageous, they're king of a jungle, so they know if they walk in, and you feel their presence. So this is a tool you can use, is to just show up and let everybody know that you've arrived with the way you present yourself.
Be chosen as the king of the jungle.
Absolutely. People know when we walk into a holistic fair, the energy changes. That like our entry is always seen and visible.
Absolutely.
Yes. Last but not least, let's talk about outcome. And I already pulled the card. Oh, it's interesting actually what I have here. So
Me
a
too.
glimpse of the reward, transformation or magic that lies ahead,
Yeah.
and what is possible if I commit, or if you commit, to taking aligned action now.
Yeah.
And
Is it you, her, or is it my card? Well,
I
let's
will
see.
start here because that's
Okay.
a really interesting, because guess what? I have a Queen of Wands as well, which is that last card which was on the table,
Yeah.
wasn't it? This is the same thing?
The
No.
prince or the
Oh, this
page.
prince.
Prince is the knight.
I'm always confused by the top deck.
You have
Anyway,
you have a Queen of
this
Wands.
is Queen of
Oh,
Wands.
that's also very powerful.
This is
Yeah,
leadership. This is that
absolutely.
courage. This is that self-confidence. This is that feeling good. This is the being leader of your own life, being led by your inner fire, your passion, your creativity, and giving birth to it, and just enjoying the fruits of being this beautiful being. Look at her. Just look at her, how
She's
proudly
powerful.
she sits on a throne. I wish the camera would zoom a little bit more, but not happening. So, hey, you need to believe me.
So for my final card, we stay with Leo. Actually, it's
Fire
in the
again.
top deck.
What is this?
It's the
Six of Wands.
the Six of Wands is
Victory.
Jupiter in Leo, and of course the card is a victory.
Wow.
So the outcome is when you take action after deliberately setting your intentions, dreaming, overcoming procrastination, overcoming your beliefs, overcoming your barriers. The inevitable outcome is that you're making it happen. And it's so funny. We have here below we have the logo of Leo again. So this is a card that plays in the star sign of Leo. That's in the zodiac sign. So we have all Leo energy.
Yeah.
It's all about
Exactly.
yeah.
So the biggest, because Leo comes here so strongly, so between now and August, it's the time to take bold action, and that's where you will feel the biggest rewards. Where there's going to be a time for gathering the fruit with this close to autumn, just end of summer.
So step out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
What? Get rid of the comfort zone altogether. Throw it away with the box where we think out of.
Growth doesn't happen in a comfort zone.
No.
It doesn't. I'm sorry, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
if you
and
want
we
to
have
grow, be bold.
And we throw the box away altogether. Everything. We just go with the flow. And even go faster than the flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's not what you're comfortable with, then take small baby steps. But every simple step, move away from comfort zone anyway.
And step into your chariot.
Yeah.
Get moving.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, guys.
Thank you so much.
That was lovely. Thank you for having me live in your studio.
My pleasure.
It was a great day.
It
Lovely weather, by the way. Jesus,
having you guys here as well. Thank you for your active communication in the chat. We always love, as you are a big part of Luna and the Druid.
Yep.
And the only last thing we have to say is to see you
next week. Goodbye.
Subscribe if you haven't already. And see you next Wednesday. We love you. Mwah.
Oh. Bye.